These are the things that I would do right now before 2025 ends if I were planning to sell my home in 2026. Hey there, I'm Brennen Klaus. I'm a full-time real estate agent in Seattle, Washington. I've helped over 325 clients buy and sell property in Seattle, and I myself own 7 properties. These are the things that I would do right now if I were planning to sell my home in 2026. First and foremost, the jumping off point is going to be getting a home inspection from a professional inspector as well as a sewer scope. These are going to bring any issues to you that you may need to address or you may need to start working on before your home goes onto the market. Think of this as your checklist of items that the buyer is going to see when they do their own inspection or when you provide this inspection to them. And so you want to know what these issues are. I always think it's better to understand and know these up front rather than get caught off guard when the buyer does their own inspection and have no idea that you needed to replace your roof, for example. So get that home inspection. That's the first one. The second thing I do is I would just go ahead and fix all of those minor issues. When a buyer comes in, they've been saving for their down payment. The last thing they want to do when they buy a house is have a laundry list of items that they have to go put more money into. So if you have the funds and the availability, go ahead and fix those minor issues. Is the window seal broken? Replace it. Does the carpet have a tear in it? Replace that. These are all things that should be taken care of and will honestly show a buyer that you're more invested in preserving your home and making it good quality, and they'll ultimately want to spend more money for that. Determine your plan for storage. Okay, this is a big one because if you're not already moved into your new place, before you put your home on the market, you need to figure out where all of your stuff is going to go. And although you may love your cat paintings and your dog's toys on the floor, no buyer is going to want to see those things, including family photos. They want the home to feel like them. They want to see themselves in the space and not how you lived in it. So you need to determine where are you going to put all of the items that you own. And if you have clutter, where's all that clutter going to go and be stored while the home is on the market? So figure out your storage plan now. If you need a pod delivered or you need to rent a storage locker, make sure you have that plan figured out so that you can get that done now. So then when you're ready to go to the market with your home, it's not a last minute thing to figure out where all of that stuff is going. Next, I'd talk with my advisors about my next steps. So when you sell your home, you're hopefully going to have some profit from the sale, or maybe you'll want to reinvest in your next home, or maybe you'll even want to defer taxes and do a 1031 exchange if you're getting a rental property. These are all really important things to think about as you're thinking about your home sale, and you'll want to talk to different advisors about what your options will be after your sale. So let's say you're taking $50,000 away from your sale in profit. What are you going to do with that money? So a lender will be able to help you figure out if you want to reinvest that in your next home, how much you can afford. A tax strategist will be able to help you figure out how to invest that money and avoid as many taxes as possible. Or if you want to talk to a financial advisor about where to put that money in other investments after you receive it, that can be a good plan as well. Or last but not least, you may want to do a 1031 exchange so you can defer some of those taxes by investing in your next property or your next rental. That can be a really good conversation if that's your plan. So take the time, find these advisors, work with your agent or whoever you're working with to figure out who are these people that you need to talk to about your plan for where that money might go. The other thing I do is I just start getting quotes for painting and flooring. These are the biggest return on your investment when you go to sell your home, and it's something you should probably plan for right now as opposed to waiting until later. Get on the calendar of the painter and the flooring person. Make sure they know that they're coming in and get those quotes now so you know exactly what the cost will be. When you have carpet that's more than a few years old or paint that is wild colors or has never been redone, those are things you can invest in as a homeowner that are going to give you the biggest return on your investment when you go to sell the property. So get the quotes now and get ready for those things to be done. I always recommend, if you can't replace the carpet, getting it at least really deep cleaned so that it looks new, there's no lingering smells, and then that paint is also going to help your home feel newer. So these are two things that you can do that are a huge return on your investment. So get started now by getting those quotes and just see what your options are. Along the same lines, I'd also get quotes for any major fixes that you have from that inspection report. So does your roof need to be replaced? Does your sewer need a new liner down the sewer line? Do some of your failed windows need to be replaced? Get quotes for those, because even if you don't do that work before you go to the market, let's say you don't have the money to invest in doing that right now, you may want to provide that quote to the buyer who's interested in your property, because if that buyer tries to guess how much that's going to cost, they're going to guess probably a much higher amount than it actually costs. And this will honestly put you in a worse position when you're negotiating, rather than having an actual number or a quote for what that costs, because then you'll know, whether you share that information or not with the buyer, how much that actually could cost, and you'll be in a better position to negotiate through those fixes. Or if you want to get the work done, have that done before your home goes to market. So it's one more thing you can talk about in your marketing that you've already taken care of for the buyer when they come to purchase the home. Ultimately, you're going to put yourself in a better position, not only for your sale, but also for negotiating if you have a quote on any of those major things that need to be fixed. Last but certainly not least, get familiar with the landscaper that you want to use, or do the landscaping yourself. It doesn't matter, but start now. Landscaping is the number one impact on curb appeal, and we all know that curb appeal does sell homes. So you want to start working with someone right now to figure out how your garden is going to get to the best possible bloom by the time you take those photos in the spring. This can be really important because sometimes those plants will take time, and sometimes you need to know exactly what needs to be done now in the winter so that you can have that ready to go on photo day. So have the landscaper come over, get a quote, ask them what needs to be done now versus what can be done the day before photos, and just get started on that process, because you're going to want the outside looking really good for your photos so that it attracts the buyers to come take a look. We all know that buyers are lured in by the photos, and the first photo is typically the exterior of your home. So just start now, get that landscaper out here and get them to start work so your home looks as best as it possibly can by the day you go to market. I'm curious, put in the comments below, what are things that you would do now if you were planning to sell your home, or that you've already done if you're planning to sell your home in 2026? These are the list of the things that I would do if I were planning to sell my home in 2026 before this year ends, as a real estate agent who works in Seattle, Washington, and has helped over 325 clients buy and sell homes in my career.